Let's be honest. This isn't the kind of conversation we bring up over coffee with friends or during Sunday brunch, but maybe it should be. Because if you're a woman over 55 and you've ever noticed an odor down there that just won't go away, despite good hygiene, you are far from alone. And more importantly, it might not be about how clean you are at all. I'm not here to make you feel embarrassed. I'm here to tell you something I wish someone had told me sooner. That as our bodies age, the rules change. And sometimes, what's really affecting how we smell, how we feel, and even how confident we are, comes down to what we wear. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 everyday clothing habits that many women don't even realize are making things worse. Habits that are incredibly common, but silently working against our comfort, health, and dignity. And don't worry, this isn't about shame. It's about solutions. Real, simple changes that can help you feel fresher, cleaner, and more confident in your own skin. Because after everything we've been through in life, the last thing we should tolerate is discomfort in our own bodies. So if you're ready for a little real talk, stay with me. This might just be one of the most important videos you watch this year. 1. Re-wearing pajamas for too many nights. A familiar and risky habit. Let me start with something we almost never admit out loud. How many of us have that one pair of pajamas? You know the kind I'm talking about. Software broken in. The waistband is just the right amount of stretched out. It's not pretty, and we wouldn't wear it in front of guests, but goodness, it feels like home. Now let me ask a harder question. How many of us wear that same pair, night after night? And I don't mean twice, I mean 3, 4, 5 nights in a row, maybe even more. You might be nodding right now. And I get it. Honestly, I used to do it too. I'd tell myself, I didn't sweat last night, so they're still clean. Or I'm just sleeping in them. It's not like I wore them outside. It felt harmless, comfortable, familiar. But then something started to change. One day I noticed a mild, musty smell that didn't quite go away, even after a shower. I switched soaps, added baking soda to my laundry, tried scented wipes, but nothing really helped. And then it clicked. I was re-wearing the same pajama pants for nearly a week without washing them. And as strange as it sounds, that was the problem. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Even if you're not sweating buckets at night, your body is still producing moisture, especially in those warmer, more private areas. Combine that with soft, cozy, unwashed fabric clinging to your skin for hours. You've got a breeding ground for odor-causing bacteria. Every night you slip those pajamas back on, you're giving those bacteria another invitation to hang out. And it's not just about smell. That same bacteria can lead to irritation, itching, even small infections, especially as our skin gets more sensitive with age. I once spoke to a close friend, let's call her Carol, who had started feeling self-conscious around her partner. She thought she was doing something wrong, using too much soap or maybe not enough. She'd clean obsessively, but the musty smell kept coming back. Eventually, through a bit of trial and error, she realized it wasn't about cleaning more. It was about washing her sleepwear more often. Now I have a simple rule. I rotate my pajamas every 1 to 2 nights. Tops. I keep 3 pairs ready in a drawer. Nothing fancy, just breathable, soft cotton that gets washed regularly. And I can't even begin to tell you the difference it's made. Not just in how I smell, but in how I feel. Fresh, feminine, taken care of. Because yes, comfort matters. But comfort doesn't mean neglect. We can love our cozy routines and still prioritize our health. So, if you've got a favorite pair of PJs that's seen more nights than you can count, it might be time to give them a break. Trust me, your body will thank you. 2. Tight synthetic underwear. Why it's not working for you anymore. Let's talk about something we wear every single day, often without a second thought. Underwear. For most of us, it's been the same routine for decades. We buy what fits, what looks decent, maybe something a little lacy, a little shaping, or just snug enough to feel secure. And if it holds everything in place, well, that's a win, right? But here's the thing, no one really tells us. Our bodies at 60 aren't the same as they were at 30. And what felt fine back then can quietly start working against us now. That was certainly the case for me. I used to love those stretchy, synthetic briefs. Nylon, spandex, polyester. They felt smooth, they didn't bunch up, and I liked the way they made me look under my clothes. But over time, something changed. I started noticing more irritation, more warmth, and yes, more odor. Even when I was showering daily and using all the right products. At first I thought maybe it was my diet or maybe my hormones. I even blamed my laundry detergent. But the real issue? It was what I was putting on before anything else. My underwear. Synthetic fabrics trap heat and moisture. And when moisture can't escape, bacteria and yeast take that as an open invitation. It's like a little party going on in a place that needs quiet and balance, not chaos. Add a little friction from tight seams, and you've got the perfect storm for odor, itching, and discomfort. I'll never forget a woman I once met in a support group for post-menopausal health. Let's call her Linda. Linda was meticulous, clean, careful, health-conscious. But she was suffering from recurring irritation and embarrassment that was starting to affect her confidence. When she finally switched to 100% cotton underwear, just a little looser, more breathable, she said the difference was like night and day. Within days, the odor disappeared. Within weeks, her comfort came back. And you could see it in how she walked into a room. That's how powerful something as simple as fabric choice can be. These days, my rule is pretty simple. If it doesn't breathe, I don't wear it. Life is far too short for swampy spandex and lace that itches by noon. Cotton may not feel glamorous, but neither does sitting in your own sweat for 8 hours. There's nothing sexy about discomfort. In fact, comfort, true, relaxed, confident comfort, is the new sexy. So go ahead. Open that drawer, reassess what's in there. Let go of what no longer serves you, and welcome in softness, breathability, and freedom. You deserve that. Every single day. 3. Wearing damp clothes. After swimming or exercise. A hidden risk you didn't know you were taking. Let's talk about one of those sneaky habits. Something that feels innocent, even healthy. You go for a walk. Maybe you do a little yoga. Or you take a water aerobics class at the community center. You move your body, you break a light sweat, or maybe you take a dip in the pool. You feel good, energized, proud of yourself. And then you sit. Maybe you grab a cup of tea with a friend after class. Maybe you run a quick errand on the way home. All the while, you're still wearing those damp leggings or that wet swimsuit. You think, it's just for a little bit. I'll change soon. But here's what no one tells us. That little bit is more than enough to cause a problem. I learned this the hard way. A few summers ago, I was doing water aerobics 3 times a week. It was the highlight of my routine. Music, movement, and a few good laughs with other women who became like sisters to me. After each class, we'd sit around on the benches in our suits, towels draped over our laps, sipping coffee and catching up. I figured, hey, I'm not soaking wet anymore. What's the harm? Then one afternoon, something felt off. A strange, fishy odor. A little itch. The next day, it was worse. I thought maybe it was the chlorine, or maybe the pool water wasn't clean enough. But after the same thing happened a second and third time, I realized it wasn't the pool. It was me, sitting around in a damp swimsuit for nearly an hour, every week. Here's the science. When you stay in wet clothes, especially ones that cling tightly to your lower half, You're creating the perfect environment for bacteria and yeast to thrive. It's warm, it's moist, and the fabric acts like a little steam room pressed right against your skin. Whether it's leggings after a walk or a swimsuit after a swim, the result is the same: odor, irritation, even infections. The worst part? We often brush it off. We think it's just our bodies acting up with age, when really it's just a simple fix we haven't made yet. So here's what I do now, and it's made all the difference. I keep a clean, dry pair of underwear and loose cotton pants in my gym bag. After every class or workout, I change immediately. Not in an hour, not when I get home, right away. Sometimes it feels like a hassle. But you know what feels worse? That itching, that smell, that discomfort that makes you want to cancel your afternoon plans. Our bodies deserve better. And frankly, at this stage in life, we've earned the right to protect our comfort, not postpone it. So if you've been sitting in damp clothes after moving your body, it's time to break that habit. Your skin, your health, and your confidence will thank you for it. 4. Panty liners, the everyday habit that may be doing more harm than good. Let's have a heart-to-heart about something we rarely question but use all the time. Panty liners. They're quiet, convenient, discreet. And for many women, especially as we age, they've become as routine as brushing our teeth. We put one in each morning without thinking twice. Maybe it's because of light bladder leaks. Maybe it's a little discharge. Or maybe we just like the feeling of being covered, just in case. I get it. I've done the same. In fact, for years, I wore a liner every day. It became a kind of safety blanket. I thought it made me cleaner, fresher, more in control. But then something started to feel off. I noticed that no matter how often I bathed or changed my underwear, there was a lingering odor. I switched soaps, I tried feminine washes, I bought sprays and powders. Nothing worked. And I'll be honest. At one point, I thought this was just part of getting older. That this was the new normal for women after menopause. It wasn't. What I didn't realize is that most panty liners, the kind we grab at the pharmacy without a second thought, are made from materials that are terrible for our skin. We're talking about plastic backings, synthetic fibers, bleach, adhesives, and sometimes even added fragrance. And while those ingredients might make them slim, flexible, or smell like a summer breeze, they do not breathe. So what happens? When you wear something non-breathable right up against your most delicate area for 8, 10, 12 hours at a time, day after day, you're essentially trapping moisture and heat in a place that needs air. It creates a humid, sticky, low-oxygen environment that bacteria love. If you've ever worn a liner all day and noticed it felt damp by evening, or found a sudden itch that didn't make sense, or had to cross your legs a certain way because something just didn't feel fresh, that might be your answer. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine, Cheryl, 70 years old, sharp as a tack, came to me almost in tears. She said, "I've done everything right. I wash daily, I eat clean, I even wear cotton underwear, but something still doesn't smell right. I feel embarrassed around my husband. I've been avoiding intimacy." She had gone through doctor visits, medications, even stopped eating garlic for a while, thinking it might be coming through her skin. And then I asked her, "Do you wear panty liners every day?" She blinked and said, "Yes." "Why?" Turned out, she'd been wearing the same kind of scented liners, every day, all day, for nearly 15 years. No breaks, no rotation, no idea they were suffocating her skin and throwing her pH completely out of balance. So what did we do? We switched her to unscented, organic cotton liners, ones that breathe, ones designed for sensitive skin, not against it. And most importantly, she started taking liner-free days whenever possible, especially at home. Within 1 week, the odor was gone. Within 2 weeks, her confidence started coming back. Now, Here's what I want to say to you. I'm not here to shame panty liners. They can be incredibly helpful tools, but how we use them matters. So if liners are a daily part of your life, ask yourself, are they organic or synthetic? Are they unscented or full of fragrance? Do I change them throughout the day or wear the same one until bedtime? And most importantly, do I really need one today? Or am I wearing it out of habit? Sometimes true cleanliness isn't about adding layers. It's about letting our bodies breathe. It's about releasing the idea that we have to hide what's natural in order to be acceptable. You deserve to feel clean, not just covered up. You deserve comfort, not chemicals. And you deserve the kind of confidence that comes from real health, not artificial freshness. 5. Wearing shapewear too long. When looking good, hurts more than helps. Let's be real for a moment. Shapewear is kind of magical. You put it on, and suddenly you've got a smoother tummy, lifted everything, and that old dress fits just right again. It feels like turning back the clock 10 years, at least on the outside. And for a special event or photo, I totally understand the appeal. Who doesn't want to feel snatched? But here's the truth. Nobody really tells you when you slip into those Spanx or high-compression briefs. Your body pays a price when you wear shapewear for too long. I found this out the hard way. It was my granddaughter's wedding. I wore a gorgeous navy dress, the kind that hugs all the places you wish were a little firmer. So, of course, I reached for my magic shorts. You know the ones. Tight, smoothing, industrial-strength spandex. From 10 in the morning until nearly 6 in the evening, I wore them. Church, reception, dancing. By hour 5, I could barely breathe. By hour 7, I was walking like I'd just finished riding a horse cross-country. When I finally peeled them off, yes, peeled, there was redness, irritation, and a smell I wasn't proud of. And it lingered. For days. Here's what was happening underneath all that smoothness. Those tight layers were trapping heat and moisture right against my skin. No airflow. No release. It was like wearing a humidifier on your lower half. For hours. And for women our age, postmenopausal, with thinner, more delicate skin, that's not just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. We're more prone to irritation, infections, and pH imbalance. I know some women wear shapewear almost daily, especially if they've gained a little weight and don't feel quite like themselves. But here's my question. At what cost? Because if you're suffering through the day just to feel a little more put together, are you really putting yourself first? These days, I treat shapewear like high heels, great for special occasions, but not built for everyday life. I limit it to a few hours at most, and when I get home, off it comes before the shoes do. No exceptions. And here's the thing. Once I started dressing for how I wanted to feel, not just how I wanted to look, I actually started to feel better in my own skin. I stopped tugging, adjusting, hiding. I started breathing deeper, standing taller, laughing more. Because confidence isn't in your waistline, it's in your comfort. So if shapewear is making you miserable by noon, if you find yourself avoiding bathroom trips because you don't want to wrestle with it, or if you're noticing more odor or irritation down there, it might be time to rethink what you're putting your body through. You're not meant to be squeezed, smoothed, and silenced. You're meant to move freely, to breathe, to take up space. Let shapewear be a tool, not a trap. And remember, there's nothing more attractive than a woman who's truly at ease in her own body. So let's bring it all home. The odor, the discomfort, the irritation, it's not your fault. It's not about being dirty or lazy or doing something wrong. It's about not knowing how much our everyday habits, our clothing choices, can affect our health as we age. No one taught us that. No one told us that tight underwear could trap bacteria, or that re-wearing pajamas could throw off our balance. No one warned us that something as innocent as a panty liner could create problems instead of solving them. And certainly no one talked openly about how shapewear and damp swimsuits might be making us feel less like ourselves. But now you know. And knowledge is powerful. You deserve to feel fresh. You deserve to feel comfortable. You deserve to feel confident in your body. Not someday, but today. Right now. Whether you're 55 or 85, your comfort matters. Your health matters. You matter. So I invite you to look at your closet, your drawers, your habits, and ask, is this still serving me? And if it's not, give yourself permission to let it go. Because real beauty doesn't come from squeezing into shapewear or pretending everything's fine when it's not. Real beauty comes from a woman who knows her worth, who listens to her body, who chooses comfort not because she's given up, but because she's finally showing up. For herself. So let's make a promise to each other. No more suffering for fashion. No more putting up with discomfort. No more silent shame. You've earned the right to feel good in your skin. And if this video spoke to you, if you saw yourself in even one of these stories, leave me a comment below and say, comfort over fashion. I read every single one, and I love hearing from you. And don't forget to subscribe for more real, honest conversations like this. We talk about the stuff nobody else does, but that we all need to hear. And if you'd like a weekly dose of wisdom, laughter, and practical tips for living your best, most comfortable life, make sure you join my Savvy Sister newsletter. The link is right down below. Until next time, take care of yourself. All of yourself.